Carrying on from my previous video about religious conditioning and spirituality, I wanted to actually cover some of the feedback I've had, particularly on YouTube platform, because I feel like there is more to this conversation than what I covered, and I felt that maybe some of what I've said has been taken the wrong way, or not the way I was intending to take it. But the thing is, we always see things through our own perspective and what our mind knows. So occasionally I think things get lost in translation, and so I'm going to pick out a few of the comments that I felt I want to explore further, and I might even do part 2. So first comment was about someone who was disfellowshipped way before I left, feeling shocked about how worldly people think is acceptable. I think that's very much still a trauma response, because when you've been conditioned from a young age, so for me particularly, like early teens, I was still, the brain is still developing until age 25, so you're learning from the outside world and what authority figures are telling you what is right and wrong, or how you're supposed to live your life. And it's not always easy to just live in a certain style of life. It's almost like moving to another country. You're having to relearn everything, like speak a new language. So regarding being tempted, now I left Jehovah's Witnesses being very open to new experiences, because everything that I was afraid of, everything I've been conditioning, I've been taking it step by step to kind of like let go of fear, let go of preconceptions, ideas that I used to think of as a fact. But obviously, to me, since leaving Jehovah's Witnesses, even though it's like a while back now, 2018, there is still a lot of that ingrained things at the back of the mind that every now and then I catch myself like, that comes from when I was in the cult. Another comment I thought was really nice. It's someone who resonated with my story. Obviously, I have a lot more to explore, a lot more to say, and I really want to, dig deep and dive deep into the psychological impacts, and not just, I don't mean like, this religion's right, this religion's wrong, the Jehovah's Witnesses are right or wrong, or their beliefs. It's not about beliefs, it's about the impact on day-to-day life, the psychological impact of having been brainwashed. It's can be quite a lonely journey, especially there's not many people we can really explain it to, because it's, again, we're talking something that's completely foreign to those who've never been in that sort of situation. I like this comment because it reminded me as well about when I just left, and all the things that was finally allowed to do, even like listening to music. I can remember when I can't remember who sang it. There was a song that came out called Black Magic, and obviously or people saying, you can't sing along to it because it's talking about magic and magic's not allowed. You can't watch Harry Potter, you can't watch vampire movies and things like that, and all those things. It's like, it's almost like a freeze response when that comes on. You're like and it's kind of like remembering that actually, I can do this now. I can watch it and make, decide, what I think about it, or like I can sing along to songs that, what they used to say, don't listen to lyrics that's about immorality, but it's a step by step. You have to take like slow steps. For some it's quicker than others, but it's literally it's a deprogramming, and yeah, it's I think there's a lot of like a relief and guilt or shame still ingrained in us when we leave, because there is always in back of the, I always feel it like almost in my chest when something is not right, and you feel that not right according to what I was trained to believe, and there's almost like that panic that sets in, which is, I would say that's post-traumatic stress disorder, still having the anxiety about it. So yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to touch on. This comment, I think, is also like very apt about being naive when leaving. I think I'd say I'm still a little bit naive, I will admit to it, because obviously my formative years, like being brought up at a certain ideology, so having been brought up in free Latvia, so in a communist, which was very, very strict in many ways as well, and then obviously communist, the Soviet Union collapsed, so it kind of created this new influx of, it's kind of like parallel to when then going into Jehovah's Witnesses. Just, it was something to hold on to, something that felt, it's like, not a hope, but it's more like a crutch, I think all religion is a crutch. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, but I don't prescribe to any book. I don't know what's real, what's not real, and I'm not really that worried, because it's just a belief. You don't know if it's true or not, because you just believe something that someone's told you. But I'm sure I'll catch up eventually. Sometimes I think, I still have to keep that sense of self, of what's right, what's wrong, but it's more deeper than that. It's more complex, and it's kind of like returning to yourself and like figuring out life from scratch. So I will end with this particular comment, and then I might do a part 2 as well. But in this particular comment, I think there was some mistaken understanding of what I mentioned before about medieval world and comparing it to modern days. I'm under no illusion that the medieval world was full of its own horribleness, and people not being Christians. It wasn't me saying that being a Christian was like being in the medieval world. No, it was simply a comparison of how it felt to being plucked out of one community or one ideology and then just dropped into another. It was obviously my own choice, because the beliefs of Jehovah's Witnesses no longer aligned with me. The lifestyle did not align with me anymore, and I outgrew it, because it didn't feel authentic anymore. It didn't feel truthful, put it that way. I felt like there was too many lies. There were too many glossing over things, and I just had an ick. I stopped believing in Bible. I don't even believe that Jesus was a real person, but that's my own opinion. No one has to agree with it. But yeah, I obviously know the medieval world was not full of Christians with integrity. It was simply just something that came to my mind, just a little comparison. So I might do part 2 to this, cover some more comments, maybe answer some questions. If you do have any more questions, pop them in the comment section. I will pick the most relevant ones and take it from there. Thank you for watching.